Thank you very much, former Vice President. It's Nick Nuttall here. I'm the spokesperson for UNEP, and I believe we have something like 10 brief minutes of your precious time to fire some questions to you. I think I'm told by our advisors here that we can only handle 2 questions. So the first question I have here is from Mr. Kim Chan-woo. He's Director General for International Cooperation, Ministry of the Environment, Republic of Korea. And it's about the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. If I can paraphrase the question, obviously there's a lot of countries right now where members of the public have lost some faith in the science, which in a sense underpins the political response and thus also the business response as a result of things like Glaciergate. The question here really is, do we need to find more evidence and additional evidence of climate change, which might actually bring the international community and the general public back to perhaps a greater confidence that we indeed do need to act on climate change? And I suppose to supplement that question is, did we make a mistake in the terms of perhaps over-deifying or creating the IPCC as being 100% accurate, when indeed it is fundamentally a risk assessment. Indeed, the best risk assessment we have, but it is a risk assessment.
Well, I think, Nick, that it is extremely important to put in perspective the recent attacks on the IPCC. Over the last 22 years, they have put out 4 major assessments. Each of them has been a few thousand pages. The most recent one was almost 3,000 pages. And some of the critics have found thus far 2 mistakes in those 3,000 pages. Perhaps there are others. But one of them was an assessment of the area in the Netherlands covered by sea level, that would be covered by sea level rise, information provided by the Dutch government that was then corrected. The second one was the one you referred to, which was an error in the date 2 numbers were transposed on the date by which all of the Himalayan glaciers would melt. It's important that in the section of the IPCC report that actually dealt with that subject, the number was correct. But in another part of that report, the date was transposed. Science is never going to be 100% correct. But the overall assessment stands as accurate. And it has been reaffirmed not only by the IPCC, but also by the Academy of Science in the Republic of Korea and in the United States and all of the European nations. Indeed, the academies, and in China and in India, Brazil, Mexico, the national academies of science of every major country on the planet have come to the same conclusion as the IPCC on this matter. And their conclusion that the evidence is, and I quote, unequivocal, should be motivating to us. There is a natural tendency on the part of all of us to reach out for some hope that this crisis is not real. It would be comforting if it were not real. But when the truth is available to us, even if it is inconvenient, we have to have the courage to act on the basis of that evidence, especially when so much is at stake.
Well, I'm sorry, Mr. Gore, I've just been told by our techies that we have to end it there because of a satellite link. We would love to ask you more questions, but we've simply run out of time. So I want to thank you so much for coming on. And I'd also like to thank Tony Profit of HP for making the link possible, and carry on with the great work. Thank you very much.
Thank you all.